This is Transformers Galactic Trials. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is, strangely enough, a game that is a racing game set within the Transformers universe. I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense to do this kind of game, and I can't think of other ones that have done this prior, but it actually really works as a concept. It's kind of fun to play. So, the general gist here is that Nemesis Prime has caused some problems, and then Cybertron was like, whoa, you can't escape with these artifact things, and then they've been sent across the galaxy into what is called the Galactic Trials. So we're essentially competing in these Galactic Trials, which are racing segments, and then really strangely the shooting segments, which I don't really get why the shooting segments are even in this. They actually seem kind of like not needed at all. Like, I guess the idea is it's supposed to be like, you know, it's Transformers, so they need to transform, I guess, but honestly, I think this just works fine as a straight up racing game. I don't really get the point of the combative elements, but yeah, then you go on these racetracks and you get to play as like the, you know, favorite Transformers, the Autobots, the Decepticon characters, and you just go on these extreme race scenarios and you compete with each other and stuff. It's pretty cool gameplay wise. Like, it's actually kind of neat. I kind of hope they take this concept and sort of blow it up even more if they do like a follow-up at some point, because yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with this thing. And you can play it alone or locally for 2 players. It's from like a publishing group where typically the games are a bit more like younger audience focused, if that makes sense. So it is neat to see something here where I'm like, oh wow, no, this is actually something that I think maybe hits the all audiences type of quadrant pretty effectively, because I am, you know, I like Transformers quite a bit, needless to say. And this is really, really cool, because I also thought maybe it was a tie-in with Transformers 1, because that just recently came out, and I mean, the game came out around the same time, I guess a little bit just after, really. And it's, you know, that movie had like a bit of a race sequence, but no, this is like a completely standalone thing. It's got like a little bit of a story segment, and then from there you jump in. So what are we getting here? 4K resolution, 60 FPS. It looks vibrant, colorful. The different maps are pretty cool, and there's a few different ways to play too. So, I mean, obviously we're doing like the combat thing here, where we're like fighting stuff. I don't mean that, but I mean like you have a kind of like a quick play option, but you do need to like unlock or have unlocked, I guess you would say, the maps and stuff like that, and then you're able to do more quick play options across different levels. Like, I find that the shooting segment sort of just really slows down the first player. I guess that's the idea, is to allow others to like catch up if you're doing too well. But anyways, yeah, so we've got the quick play options, which I always appreciate, but I don't like that things are gated there, because sometimes it just likes to do quick play. But you can also do like ring cups, so sort of like a traditional racing game. You have like these cups, which are like a collection of different racing options within it. And then there's, yeah, just the quick racing, and then some other little things here or there. And then the core gameplay loop is the actual Galactic Trials, which is what we're kind of showing here. This is where you are basically working through these set challenges, these different cup difficulties. So you've got kind of like the rookie cup, and then there's a normal kind of cup, and then there's like a super kind of difficult sort of cup. And the goal is to work through those to unlock more stuff. And it does seem like there's a decent selection of racing options, like a decent selection of maps and stuff like that. It's actually kind of cool, and that's where I was saying, like, as an arcade racing game, this actually really does work as a concept. Like, I love the look of the world, and you know, kind of trying to do these unique scenarios with that flair of Transformers kind of mixed in. And it's actually like a pretty competent, well set up racing game. I think the big thing that people are going to feel though is maybe like the selection maps could be a bit more varied and more like just quick play stuff. And then, yeah, I do find the shooting segments to be a little... They're almost like distracting, if that makes sense. Like, I guess that's the idea, is to sort of even things up and have the person in the lead doing like this big shooting thing while trying to do stuff, and then like, you know, these other racers are able to catch up more easily because you're off doing this. But like, I guess that does make the game a little bit unique. It does make sense from a, I guess you would say, Transformers perspective to have this, but I honestly don't really think it needs this style of thing at all. Honestly, you could just straight up have like a Transformers car racing game and it would work too. I wasn't really sure what to expect. You know, I'm always like, you know, Transformer games for me, the High Moon Transformer games were like where it was at, and you get like a really odd balance of like extreme hits or miss for Transformers things, but this is actually kind of a genuinely unique concept for Transformers. And I know it's not going to necessarily hit for everyone, but I think if you're a Transformers fan and you're looking for a game and you're looking for something a little different, this is actually quite interesting and kind of fun. And there's a decent selection of characters too, and they have different like vehicles, like obviously Optimus. There's also Nemesis Prime and like Soundwave, and yeah, a bunch of different options to transform and roll out with. So it's not bad. And I think particularly for the younger ones, they might like this. Like, I don't know if this is based on a specific recent show for Transformers. That's always a question I have too, is like, I don't keep up with the shows. So it's a little bit harder for me to, I guess you would say, yeah, kind of be like, oh, you know, this is the most recent Transformers show and everything like that. So, Icon City, nice. So that's something where I'm like, I don't know if it's based on an actual ongoing show, because I don't think it's a tie-in to the movie, or it could just be its own Transformers thing. But I think like the character models look pretty cool, the transforming's fun, and it's got the sounds. Like, it doesn't have the voice actors, but I mean, you know, they're essentially doing like a 2-second audio bit, so it's not really probably worth it at all for them to, you know, pay into that kind of thing, since again, you know, it probably costs so much to get the voice actors. And I think it was like literally just an opening segment where they had like Optimus and stuff be like, you know, talk about the Galactic Trials, and then Optimus says like 2 lines, and I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But they are actually setting up something kind of cool, and it's fun, and it's Transformers-like, and it's also got like a fun kind of cybernetic futuristic vibe, and like, I think this is really, really cool. Like, honestly, I think this is a very unique take on Transformers. I get that those that maybe like the High Moon games, like myself, or that style of Transformers game, will probably be like, oh, this is like really out of the box or a little too different or something. But for me, I think this is pretty sweet. Like, we're literally doing just a really, it's bizarre too, because the shooting concept, I really can't think of another racing game where it does this kind of thing. Like, I think some of the racing games, they have segments where you're like swimming, right? Or you do like water-based stuff, but to do... Oh, I actually died. To do like a little shooting segment in the middle of everything, like, it does fit Transformers. Like, it does fit Transformers. Oh, I didn't dash. My bad. I don't know, I think it's kind of neat. Like, it's genuinely different. And I guess it's like a tighter race thing too. Like, it's more tightened because there's not like a whole pile of you competing against each other, right? Like, it's only a few options here because you have those robot segments. It's neat. Like, it really is. Like, it visually looks fine in terms of like scale and the locations and that, and you know, the music's kind of nice. Like, this is actually a pretty decently solid quality Transformers game. Like, I genuinely did not see this coming in the slightest when I was looking into this. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know how this is going to be or what this is going to be like. And then I'm playing this and I'm like, oh, no, I get it. Because, like, the screenshots and stuff like that almost make it confusing as to what this is. And then I'm diving in here and I'm like, oh, that's not good. I'm diving in here and I'm being like, oh, this actually has some solid potential going on. Let's roll. Transform and roll out. Transformers, robots in disguise. Yeah, race circuits, crazy action. But look at that, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like at the cutting edge of gameplay visuals of that in the modern era, but I think it kind of gets the job done. It's effective. It's something that, like, I think all audiences can kind of jump into and have fun with. Like, this is something that, like, an older, I guess you would say, adult could be, like, playing with their kid and then not feeling as though it's too childish, which I think is a joy, and then, you know, kind of a multi-generational Transformers kind of experience for this one a lot easier, because some of them are a little too simplistic, I would say, but this actually is fun. Oh, I can't believe I hit that. That's embarrassing. I thought I was doing really well there. You can also smash into enemies, but they're like not. My competition isn't good enough in this, let's put it that way. Because this is the rookie circuit, so this is like your starter one. You gotta beat this, and you can do the, you know, the harder circuits, and you kind of build your way up is the idea here. Like, I don't know, like the shooting segments, they kind of make sense. They also kind of feel out of place, but I get it. Like, it all kind of works. I think that's the biggest thing to just kind of get across, is it kind of all works and just kind of flows together in a pretty effective way. Huh. I would have never thought about a racing Transformers game, but no, I get it now. I totally get it. Like, this makes complete sense to me that they would do this kind of thing. Oh, and there's also, like, the drifting, which this map, I don't really feel like I have to do too much drifting in to do okay. Which is why I haven't really shown it off. But, like, you can actually drift around corners and stuff. I'm trying to wait for, like, a cool corner to do that in, but hasn't really happened yet. Run, Bumblebee, run! Love that you keep that momentum going. And then the music's pretty cool. Yeah, I really like this. The more I play it, the more I'm kind of like, this is a really neat experience. Like, if I was younger, I would have been pretty floored by this, I think, as a Transformers fan when I was, like, a kid. I would have been like, oh, this is so neat. Because it's also, you're not just doing the same lap, too. It's like the shooting segments are a little bit different, and the map is slightly adjusted every time. Because you're doing the battling, or you're, you know, that battling sequence is now a driving area. That's actually a pretty clever setup. I'd say bravo to this effort. This is really, there's something neat here. There's something actually really genuinely neat and creative about this. Icon City unlocked. Bash damage. Vitality 100%. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty helpful. Because I'm in a circuit, I'm kind of locked here with Bumblebee, because there are other characters and they look really cool when you transform as them. Like, all the usual suspects are here. Like, again, you can see it's like Soundwave and Optimus, and it's cool. This is neat. I love the color range too. The fun part of Transformers is it's like, it's robotic, right? There's some drifting for you. And it's robotic, so you can do all kinds of things, and the color schemes for Transformers are so fun. So obviously there's like Energon is like a large, like glowing kind of thing usually, right? With little color variations. I think it's usually purple, but you know, and then the Decepticons, they have a different color scheme, which is like dark purple, and the Autobots, a little red and stuff. But then the cities are all different colors of like variants of vibrant colors and stuff, and like, yeah. It's pretty cool. Like, it is, like, Transformers, it actually lends itself very nicely to this kind of experience. Brum, 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 brum. And then the idea that we're doing, like, a racing trials across these locations in order to fight for artifact type things, that's very, very cool.
Bring it on.
Oh, come on. There we go. We're shortcutting this. I hope this goes over well. I'd actually really like to see the potential sequel expansion of this. Like, if you could, like, increase the scope of it even further in that. It's a really, really neat idea, and I think it looks pretty nice visually. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, it's kind of simple, these segments, but you know, the reason these are simple is because you're doing, you know, like a race. So it's supposed to be like a 2-second shoot, shoot, shoot thing, and then you're right back to racing. I totally get what they're going for on this one. I am fascinated by this experience, because this is actually a genuinely unique pitch on a Transformers concept. And they are using this license and actually doing some cool, different things with it. And for me, that's kind of awesome. Like, it's so creative, isn't it? Like, as an idea, it's like, yeah, we're doing Transformers. It's a racing game. They're cars, duh. and then we're also gonna have segments where it's like they're not cars, but they're like shooting and stuff like that. This is so neat. Like, I love the complexity here too, because there's stuff going on, and it might slow you down if you mess up, but for the most part, you can keep your speed and momentum going. I always believed that was a big thing for Sonic, is like, the best Sonic games are the ones where they keep you moving.
Hello, Energon.
Because, you know, Sonic's all about speed, and that's where I'm making that comparison, is like, even though you're doing something where it isn't a car driving along, you're still doing something. Very, very cool. You know, I think for the first time in a long time, I'm not sitting here being like, oh, bring me back to those high moon game days. This is actually something. I mean, it's not like those Transformer games, of course, but for what this is genuinely fascinating. Wow. Just again, bravo. I don't know if any devs ever watched these videos, but like, genuinely creative concept.
We gonna do this or what?
Bring it on, indeed. Oh, and then there was a side thing too. There's like so many little shortcut ways you can take to do stuff here. Like, if you really got intense about it and tried to find the best creative shortcuts, you could create some pretty cool setups.
You gonna do this or what?
I know I'm like basically in a race of my own, but that's just because, again, it's the rookie circuit. It also makes me look really good and intense to knowing what I'm doing. That's always important. Yeah, I forget that you can dive, or, well, dash through that area. It'd be a lot faster for getting through those spots. I also love that it's got all the different, like, city locales for Transformers lore and stuff. They really send you across Cybertron, that's for sure. Cool, cool, cool. Really, genuinely. I'd say the only thing to think about would maybe be, like, the amount of content for map stuff, like circuits, but kind of impressive for what this is. This greatly exceeded the Transformers expectations I had imagined for this kind of game, so I would say, yeah, bravo to the devs, and something actually cool maybe worth checking out. You might find it interesting. It's certainly got some unique mechanics and styles to it, and I think it captures the Transformers world actually really genuinely effectively. And it's fun to play. That's a cool thing too, is it's actually fun to play this. Oh, there we go. I guess I'm just so far ahead I didn't even realize that there's, you know, 6 people racing along here. Nice. I leveled up, that's what it's all about.
Bumblebee, Megatron. Soundwave. Megatron. Optimus Prime.